Hello, Moram here. In today's video I'll be sharing my Sorlock build in Baldur's Gate 3 that utilizes Eldritch Blast to dominate the weak and scrawny into submission. This build is tailored towards optimizing the use of this incredibly powerful cantrip, dipping into a multitude of classes to achieve this goal. You will be able to burst down foes with up to 12 Eldritch Blasts in one turn, maximizing the damage of each ray to achieve up to 75 plus damage per cast. But that's not all. Eldritch Blast can solve all your problems. Want to open a door? Eldritch Blast. Want to use a lever? Eldritch Blast. Want to fix a relationship? Eldritch Blast. You have the power of force damage in the palm of your hand, bathe in the glory of a high dex and charisma score, cracking open chests and people alike. The biggest drawback of this build is its low AC and upfront burst that only recovers on a short rest. Like I already hinted towards, this build is optimized for burst and really shines in that regard, but becomes very one-dimensional after using your load. Well, actually that's a symptom of using Eldritch Blast as your main damage source, but is further extrapolated by using all your available resources to support that. With the introduction of the build out of the way, let's have a look at the starting ability score as well as level progression. Now, the stat lineup looks like this: 8 strength, 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, intelligence to 8, wisdom 12, charisma 16. If we assume you have the hack here that's giving you a +1 to a specific stat, we're going to dump 2 points in wisdom and bump our charisma to 17. This allows us to get charisma 18 and with the ability score improvement, charisma 20. For the starting race, you can go with basically any race you want. Really sick. But you can also go with, for example, a human to get access to shields much earlier. As for the starting class, we go with rogues. Rogues get access to a ton of skill proficiencies. For this, we want to focus on our dexterity skills and our charisma skills. So this character is tailored specifically to be used as a main character. This one takes care of any doors, any chests, and any people you want to crack open. We go with sleight of hand with expertise, stealth with just the proficiency, deception with expertise, intimidation with just the proficiency, and with a background that boosts your persuasion as well as insight. You can go with any background to be honest, but this one I found to be really nice to have. We're going to immediately multiclass into the warlock, gaining us access to our Eldritch Blast as well as friends. Friends can be used to get advantage on checks versus non-hostile creatures, but this one will possibly make some NPCs hostile in the tactician difficulty. So if you're playing tactician difficulty, you want to pick Blade Ward. For the subclass we go with the Great Old One, giving us access to Mortal Reminder. On a critical strike, we frighten an enemy if they do not succeed a wisdom saving throw. For the spells we go with Armor of Agathis, as well as Hex. Hex can be cast as a bonus action and uses one level 1 spell slot, and each Eldritch Blast ray will proc this one. So this one scales with your Eldritch Blast. At level 3, we are going to pick up Arms of Hadar to get access to an AoE around our character at the very start of the game. We are not going to use this one later on, just early on. And for the invocations, Agonizing Eldritch Blast will give us a charisma modifier boost. So our charisma modifier is the 17 here, so a +3 to charisma checks. This one will get added to the 1d10 Eldritch Blast dice per ray. This means if we have 3 rays, we're going to add our charisma modifier to each single one, resulting in a +5, +5, +5, +15 at the end. We can modify this even further. And the second one is Devil's Sight, giving us magical dark vision. We can look through darkness that is cast by enemies and by ourselves. This one is very important because this build is going to utilize that. Early on you can also use Repelling Blast, but you need to respec later on. So this is the basic core of the build. 1 rogue, 2 warlock. Afterwards we're going to pick up Sorcerer, 1 level here. With the subclass Draconic Bloodline, we want to pick up the bronze or the blue Dragon Heritage. It actually doesn't really matter all that much. For the color, you can pick any you like. I like the blue one that's looking like a metallic blue. So that's going to be my pick. But the most important thing we are going to take away from this one is our armor class is going to be boosted to 13. That's our base armor class. For the spells, we're going with Shield, giving us a boost as a reaction to our armor class. So that's 5 for 1 single attack. And we pick up Enhanced Leap. Enhanced Leap can be cast outside of combat as a ritual. So you don't use any spell slots. You can buff your allies, you can buff yourself and jump over basically everything. So this one is very useful. As for the spells, we're going with Light, Dancing Lights, which both can be used later on to get access to a light source to illuminate a target, which we are going to utilize by using a specific item. Acid Splash will give us a little bit of AoE versus, for example, rats. And Ray of Frost is going to be a slow that we can use. However, we are most likely never going to use this one. For level 6 or level 3 with the Sorcerer, we pick up our class passive Quicken Spell, which allows us to cast Eldritch Blast for 3 sorcery points as a bonus action. So we have now 2 Eldritch Blasts, and we are going to pick Darkness, which synergizes well with our Devil side. At level 7, we are going to pick up our first feat because we're going to pick another level in Sorcerer. The feat is going to be an ability improvement, boost your Charisma. With the hack here, you now have access to Charisma 20. For the cantrip, you can go with anything, but Blade Water is always good to have. Next, we are going to pick up Invisibility. Invisibility will make it possible to rob enemies or steal stuff much easier. Next, we are going to multiclass again, this time in Fighter. For the fighting style, go with Defense for a +1 to armor class. This one will also give us access to Second Wind. Next, we pick up another level in Fighter, giving us access to Action Surge. Action Surge can be used to gain another action, which can be used for a cantrip, which is Eldritch Blast. So we now can fire 3 Eldritch Blasts in one turn. This one recovers on a short rest. All other levels are going to go into the Rogue. We get access to bonus actions like Dash, which gives us additional mobility. At level 11 or Rogue 3, we're going to pick up another bonus action with the Thief. We also get resistance to falling damage. This bonus action can be used for mobility, or with a specific item we can cast another instance of Eldritch Blast. That's the quick spell Flinger. A cantrip can be used as a bonus action once per short rest. So that's going to complete our burst of 12 Eldritch Blasts. And at the last level we are going to get another feat. This feat is going to be used as another ability score improvement to boost our dex to 18, giving us an additional armor class because we are in dire need of some. Now let's talk about the class mechanics. We can use our Eldritch Blast like so, but you can also use Quicken Spell. We have 4 sorcery points, so we're going to use 3 of those and can use another Eldritch Blast as our bonus action. We can also use Quick Spell Flinger to use Eldritch Blast as another bonus action. And we can use Action Surge to gain access to another action that we can use for Eldritch Blast, resulting in 4 Eldritch Blasts. Now to recover your sorcery points, you can use your create sorcery points and give up spell slots, like for example this one, to gain 2 sorcery points for a level 2 spell slot. You get 1 for a level 1 spell slot. So exchanging those will enable us to use our quicken spells more often. You can also use your warlock spell slots to recover this. So there is debate to be had that you go a 3rd level in the warlock to get access to level 2 spell slots, so you can use your quickened spell magic much more often. But you're giving up a feat for this instead of the last level in rogue. Next I'm going to go over the gear. We are currently using the Marrakesh gear staff. This staff allows us with this action to choose a specific element, which we have chosen to be lightning, to get access to a level 6 spell as well as a level 3 lightning bolt, and this one will imbue us with crackling lightning. So when we use our Eldritch Blast, we also deal lightning damage that's quite substantial. Early on you can use the Sparkler. In the northern part of the Act 1 map you can find a burning building. When you save the Duke inside, this Duke will give you a choice, either the Jolter or the Sparkler. Choose the Sparkler. That's a staff that's going to generate lightning charges whenever you use a spell. Use the staff until you get your legendary staff. The legendary staff can be found in the Sorcerers and Sundries. So you teleport up to the top, to the dude, to the mage inside. Then you go to a window and jump down. In the chamber below, you need to see invisible things. Then you press the button that says below. So you get teleported to a chamber with 2 globes. Inside one globe is going to be a mage reef armor and the staff. Save before that and then roll for Arcana until you get the unlock. It's a very easy staff to get. You can also purge Birthright in this tower, so in Sundries, giving you a +2 to Charisma. This gives you basically a +1 hit chance for Eldritch Blast and +3 damage. Cloak of the Weave can be also found there, +1 to spell attack rolls, which works on cantrips, and +1 to spell DCs. The effect is also really nice. Now the Potent Robe is something special. This one adds your Charisma modifier additionally to your cantrips. This means our Charisma modifier is getting added to our Eldritch Blast 2 times. Meaning +5 through the Potent Robe and +5 through the Agonizing Blast. This means we have a 3d10 plus 30 damage, base damage. Now the Potent Robe can be acquired by freeing the prisoners in Moonrise Tower. Make sure that every single one survives, and then you go to Last Line Tavern and pick this one up as a reward. Down below you will find a video detailing how to get this specific robe. Next, let's talk about gloves, because we have a lot of selection here. I personally prefer the quick spell gloves. You can find those gloves in Sorcerers and Sundries before you complete this one. So when you walk in, you immediately need to trade for those. Otherwise, they are going to disappear from the stock. They're going to allow you to use your cantrips as a bonus action once per short rest. An alternative to this are the Gemini gloves, which allow you once per short rest to use a 4th Eldritch Blast Ray. You can find those gloves specifically in the Devil's Fee. You will need to convince the vendor there to give you access to the special stock. For the boots, we're going with the Space Shunt boots. Any boots that's giving us mobility are really nice on this build. So the disintegrating greaves are also good. You can find them also down below in the video. I'll show you where to get them. So when you get here to the city walls, the voice will start talking to you and send you on a mission. Those boots are gained through following that quest. Next, the shield, Catherick shield. It's going to give you a +1 to spell attacks and spell DCs. So this one can be accessed at the end of Act 2 after fighting the last boss. Just loot the corpse. You can teleport out without looting it, so you will miss out on the shield. Now for the rings. Coruscation ring will allow you to add a radiating orb to a target. So your Eldritch Blast will hit 3 times, adding a radiating orb that's going to stack. This will illuminate the target and give them a -1 to attack rolls per remaining turn. So 3 orbs means -3 to attack rolls and they're shining in bright light. We can then combine this one with the Callous Glow ring, which gives you a +2 to basically every single ray as radiant damage. So +6 to our Eldritch Blast. So we're going to debuff foes and buff our attack. However, you can also use the Spell Might Gloves, which gives you a -5 penalty to rolls, but additionally a +1d8 damage. This damage is force damage. So when we equip those, our hit chance is going to plummet. So we are not going to hit anything. So what we want to do is to use the Risky Ring instead to offset that penalty. We now need advantage on attack rolls. So only use the Spellmight gloves if you do not have anyone that's going to use the Risky Ring. Now you get access to the Spellmight gloves after finding every single part of the Dibbles clown and giving them back to the circus. So follow that quest, you can get this one fairly early in Act 3. The Callous Glow Ring can be found in the Gauntlet of Shar in that vault that's locked beside Balthazar's chamber. And the Coruscation Ring can be found beneath Last Light Inn. There is a hidden chamber, a hidden chest, so explore that area to find this specific ring. It's very strong on multi-hit builds. Anyway, if you liked this video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions or remarks, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You can also join the channel membership or leave a donation if you have the spare coin. So, see you next time and bye.